Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, a father of 4 killed on New Year's Day. Outrage over a video showing a beating involving police. BAHAMASAIR jets grounded, find out why. Plus, the SAXONS celebrate a sweep on Bay.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. The father of an 11-day-old baby was gunned down on New Year's Day, becoming the country's first murder victim of 2020. Heartbroken family members say he was a former K-9 trainer with the Royal Bahamas Police Force and leaves behind 4 children. Jared Higgs reports.
No.
In the first recorded homicide for 2020, Chief Superintendent Solomon Cash of the Central Detective Unit says a man was gunned down on 3rd Street, Coconut Grove on the night of January 1st.
Shortly before 9, the deceased was walking south along 3rd Street when he was approached by persons who were driving a black-colored vehicle. Both persons emerged from that vehicle and opened fire on the deceased, subsequently fatally shooting him.
Family members told Our News the victim is 36-year-old Marco Meadows, a professional dog trainer who worked with the Royal Bahamas Police Force for 15 years. His girlfriend, Gertrude Leslie, says he leaves behind 4 children, ages 10, 6, and 3 years old, as well as an 11-day-old baby.
How was he as a dad?
Oh my God. Can't ask for a better one. God.
Leslie says she spent the last 10 years with Meadows, describing him as a kind, affable man.
Nice, sweet voice and funny. Get along with everybody.
Meadows' mother, Irene Clark, seen here in the red top, was inconsolable after her son's body was taken away.
I go in. I go in. Lord. Oh, Jesus.
Angry family members expressed shock at the incident. Meadows' killing marks a deadly start to a new decade. According to Our News records, there was a 5.5% increase in murders in 2019 compared to 2018. And according to Meadows' uncle, Gary Lord Roll, this isn't the family's first brush with gun violence.
Almost in the same area, just 5th Street down the street, the other grandnephew was shot, killed on the scene. And it's very difficult.
Meadows' killing comes days after 21-year-old Jermaine Williams was gunned down just 1 street over on 2nd Street. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
Formal complaints have been filed by a man and a woman accusing members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force of using excessive force. Videos of several young Junkanoo goers being beaten by police with batons have been widely circulated on social media, sparking outrage. In this video, an officer is seen walking down a line of young men whose hands are placed on the walls of a building across from the straw market, hitting each of them with his baton. That young man walks away, holding his hips while the officer moves on, pushing another officer out of the way to get to the next person in line. That young man then runs away as spectators watch and record. Meanwhile, over on Shirley Street, just in front of Bank of the Bahamas, another video shows a scuffle with batons swinging as one man wearing a peach shirt holds his head. As 2 men drop to the floor, another is pulled up and escorted off by the officers, with blood coming from his head. That man was Keith Moss Jr. With his head bandaged, Moss said he saw a fight across the street. And after he had seen that broken up, he thought everything was fine. That is until police told him, his sister, and his friends they had to move.
I was trying to get them off my sister's face, actually. And when they gone for, that's when they started attacking me. I didn't realize I get it in my head until when they bring me over the barricade. When they feel me
Moss said what you didn't see in those videos was the continued beating that took place after. His sister, Lakeisha Moss, said she didn't expect things to escalate to the point of her being slapped to the ground by police.
And I look at the video and I was like, I can't believe like they actually like slapped me down like that, and like they can't even tell you why. Like they can't tell you that we is just arrest or like we disrespect them or like we cuss and carry on or like, you know, like it wasn't even nothing like that. Like we just they tell us go, we trying to get our stuff to go. Like they just. I don't even know what happened. Like, it just happened so fast.
In the end, the siblings were not arrested. Keith Jr. was picked up by a family friend and taken to hospital. Their father, businessman Keith Moss Sr., said seeing the numerous videos of the incident hurt him because he is a former Defense Force officer.
Looking at it at first hand, you would say that there was a group of young, disorderly persons that were doing something wrong, and the police had to get involved. That was actually the police, that was just the police beating. They beat these kids them like that. For what reason? If you say to them to leave Bay Street and they leave in, there's no need to beat them at that.
As the videos began to make the rounds online, social media users were split. One person posted, "It's police brutality, we all know." Another said, "All this force is not necessary, period." And another said, "Now, well, the commissioner needs to do something with these rogue cops." Others sided with police, saying, "Obviously, y'all don't go to Junkanoo and witness how these guys carry on, especially when the police try to handle them in the right way." Another said, "Honestly, the little boys act too bad. They need that." Our News understands 2 of the young men have filed a formal complaint with the Royal Bahamas Police Force Complaints Department and are expected to take the matter to court. Defense attorney BJORN Ferguson deals with these types of cases often and says that should always be the first course of action if you feel wronged by law enforcement.
We cannot say that the police can't use force. The law provides for the use of force, but whenever force is used, it must be justified. And so the circumstances in which force is used, the courts will have to look and see if it was reasonable in the circumstances and make a determination from there.
Now, Our News spoke with Deputy Police Commissioner Paul Roll, who said if anyone feels they were wronged by members of the police force, they have the right to file a complaint with the complaints unit, adding those claims will then be investigated. He wouldn't say much more than that. Well, 3 Bahamasair jets are unable to fly into the United States. Bahamasair Chairman Tommy Turnquest confirming to Our News that 3 of the airline's 737 Classics missed the January 1st deadline to be equipped with navigational kits required by the Federal Aviation Administration because the supplier did not provide them in time. As a result, Turnquest says Bahamasair is using its ATRs to fulfill flight services into South Florida while the jets continue scheduled flights into the Family Islands in Haiti. He added the airline found a new supplier and expects the navigational kits to be here and installed by March. In the meantime, Turnquest insists there has been no disruption of Bahamasair's flight services. While Police Commissioner Anthony Ferguson says he will wait and see how the situation involving Assistant Commissioner of Police Ken Strawn develops. This after Strawn took legal action alleging the decision to move him is unlawful and amounts to a demotion in rank. Berthany McDermott reports.
I don't want to make any comment on any ongoing incident. So I'll leave that right there and let's watch and see how it develops.
Police Commissioner Anthony Ferguson remaining tight-lipped on questions surrounding Assistant Commissioner Ken Strawn's new appointment. On December 9th, after returning from forced vacation leave, Strawn was informed that he had been appointed Chief of Security at the William A. Pratt and Simpson Penn juvenile facilities. 3 days later, Strawn was reportedly informed that the decision was made to deactivate his access card, email, access to the police criminal profile, and radio systems. Strawn has taken legal action. His attorney, Wayne Monroe QC, said the move was clearly personal. Here's how the police chief responded to that claim.
No, I'm not going to comment on it. That's an ongoing matter, and I shan't comment on that.
Last week, Strawn filed a lawsuit against the government claiming the appointment was unlawful and amounts to a demotion in rank. He further claims that the police commissioner abused his power by directing him to report to the social services minister and by sending him and other senior officers on leave back in March 2019. Chairman of the Police Staff Association, Sergeant SONNY Miller, said the PSA is watching to see how this situation will play out. He added that it appears the commissioner is doing his job free from political influence. However, he did say this.
The only thing we're asking is for a prime minister or a government party appoints a minister of national security who is supposed to provide the resources and liaison with our Commissioner of Police. So we're asking any and everyone, let's keep it the way it should be. Just allow the Commissioner to do his job. I can speak, sitting in the chair under this Commissioner, who appear to have been doing an excellent job this far. So whether it's the F&M, the DAY, the PLP, whoever, please allow our Commissioner to do our job.
Reporting for our news, I'm Berthany McDermott.
The Shell Saxon superstar celebrating a huge win at the 2020 New Year's Day JUNKANOO Parade. Celebrating all things Bahamian, the Saxons wowed spectators and parade judges, sweeping every category. Saxon's Public Relations Director, Anthony Campbell-Moss, said after a disappointing second-place finish on Boxing Day, the group was hungry for the win.
And the music category has been one that is long sought after for us. Winning music, it just meant so much, but everything that we've done in a combination has brought us to where we are today. From our choreographed girls to our back line, everything worked in tandem and we got the job done.
Following their Boxing Day victory, the Valley Boys had to settle for second place this time around. One family finished third and Roots finished fourth. Some JUNKANOO fans have questioned how the Saxons won the Best Banner category. Well, Moss had these words for those who disagree with the results.
In response to the other groups that have said that we cried, well, we ain't nothing but a crybaby, a sausage in there, and you lick it, stick it there. Take that penny sausage and stick it right in there. The Saxons won the parade. Welcome to the islands of the Bahamas. We win. Deal with it.
Still to come, Teen Challenge throws its support behind the Marijuana Commission's report. Stay tuned.
From TV to phone to fast internet, how can we show appreciation for the 25 years you've been with Rev? To celebrate our 25th birthday, Rev is rewarding 250 lucky customers with $250,000 cash back. Simply switch to Trio, upgrade to Trio, or pay your bill in full and have your chance to win cash this Christmas. Just call 601-8992 or email us at trio@cablebahamas.com. Rev, you and us together.
Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis says his administration has 7 more years to bring campaign finance legislation, something he had promised to deliver on if elected in 2017. Minnis said while his government is working on it, the focus is on economic equality. On Monday, Attorney General Carl Bethel told the National Guardian that campaign finance legislation is a priority for the Office of the Attorney General. Bethel also said the Minnis administration hopes to enact the legislation ahead of the next election. When asked about campaign finance reform back in December 2018, Minnis said his 5 years aren't up yet and voters will promise him another 5 years. Well, the head of one of the country's oldest rehabilitation centers is coming out in support of the decriminalization of small amounts of marijuana and the expunging of criminal records. Teen Challenge Bahamas Executive Director Eric Fox says too many young men have had their lives ruined over trace amounts of weed. Jasmine Brown reports.
Fox joins a growing list of officials weighing in on the controversial topic as he admits he supports the decriminalization of small amounts of marijuana. However, he also insists that's simply not enough.
I do believe that they consider the decriminalization of small. I don't think it's going to cause crime to go up. I don't think it's going to even cause persons to even want to use more drugs. You need to understand how the psyche works. Persons have a tendency to more get into things that they can't have. So most of the times, I mean, there are bars on every corner. Everybody don't drink.
His comments came after the Bahamas National Commission on Marijuana proposed the legalization of medical marijuana and the decriminalization of the possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana. Fox, who has spent 3 decades helping others tackle substance abuse, says he has seen the lives of too many young men ruined because of criminal convictions.
I am very concerned with the records that the young men get. People can smoke. I mean, I probably could walk right down the road and get marijuana. They get marijuana for like $3 a bag, $5 a bag. People smoking every day. There's plenty of dope in this country. So what are we going to do? That's a fact.
what are we going to do? I mean, yes, I believe that persons who selling drugs and for large quantity of drugs should be taken before the court. But think about it. If police run into a young man with a joint, to me, that's a waste of government resources. That's a waste of our resources. You got to lock him up. You got to drive him to the station. You got to do paperwork. You got to give him something to eat. You got to take him to court. You have to stand bail. You have to get, to me, and then you're going to get a charge. People do things that they regret later on in life.
Fox is not the only one to share that view. Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis and Commissioner of Police Anthony Ferguson have both expressed their support for the expungement of criminal records. The report also recommended the expungement of all police records reflecting possessions of small amounts of cannabis. And Fox agrees.
I think they need to retrospect back, and they need to expunge all records for all persons who've been charged with possession from the Queen them time.
Reporting for our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
President of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, Paul Maynard, says he doesn't expect the new $95 million Wasilla plant at Clifton Pier to be fully staffed with Bahamian workers until mid-January. Maynard says the application process closed in mid-December and many positions are still vacant, even though BPL officials held an official launch at the Clifton Pier power station last month.
Take them another 2 to 3 weeks to get people in place and hired, and then they got to train them. So, I don't know how they're working on that process, but obviously they don't have Bahamians on it working it now.
BPL contracted Wartsila, a Finnish technology group, to install the 132-megawatt engine power plant in an effort to address long-standing power generation issues. Still to come, JUNKANOOERS share their parade prep traditions. Stay tuned.
From TV to phone to fast internet, how can we show appreciation for the 25 years you've been with Rev? To celebrate our 25th birthday, Rev is rewarding 250 lucky customers with $250,000 cash back. Simply switch to Trio, upgrade to Trio, or pay your bill in full and have your chance to win cash this Christmas. Just call 601-8992 or email us at trio@cablebahamas.com. Rev, you and us together.
You're watching Our News. Welcome back. Whether they're on the bleachers or standing on the sidelines, JUNKANOO fans cannot wait for their favorite groups to rush out of the gate on Boxing Day or New Year's morning. Before those groups hit Bay Street, you can find them on George Street, or The Hole, as they call it, preparing to put on a winning performance.
George Street is the high point. It is that opportunity for us to take a break before the parade and during the parade. It's where all the groups get to take a look at what someone else is coming down the road with. And so it's just a lot of festivities. It's where the onlookers start, and where the hole is what we call it.
For the music session, this is what you call the hole. This is where the fire is, this is where all the music people assemble. We make sure our drums heat up, we make sure our costumes are together. We do a pre-rush before we go on Bay Street, get the blood flowing, make sure everybody is intact, make sure our costumes are intact, and let's wait and go.
And if you're wondering how they're able to put on the kind of show they do, it's not just because of the adrenaline from the music or the vibrant colors of the costumes.
I've been affiliated with the SAXONS Superstars for 41 years. I started on the parade at 3 years old. My father is a founding member of the SAXONS Superstars, Casey Campbell. He has taken the group to 5 straight musical wins. So JUNKANOO and football are things that I know because I learned them from my dad.
Bass drummer section leader for the Saxons, Shane Dean, says they're also hyped up by JUNKANOO fans as they pass through George Street.
Most people who stick in this for life, they love this from young, and most of the time you inherit JUNKANOO. Most people inherit JUNKANOO. Your auntie, your uncle, your sister, your brother, your daddy was doing JUNKANOO, and it passed on to you.